Good morning. Today is the 8th of ER and the 28th of May. And outside of Eretz Yisrael, you'll be reading Parshat Naso again. So like we said, we're going to be looking more concretely at the toughest part of the Parsha, which is the repetitious offerings of the kings of the tribes, the Nisim. We spoke last week about the fact that each Nasi literally means also someone who is either lifted up, who is above everyone, or, like we've been explaining it, that it's someone who is able to carry opposites, and that's the real duty of a king, to be able to carry opposites. So let's read the first. They're all the same, so now we'll begin to see how they're different. So on the first day, the one who brought his offering on Sunday, the first day of Nisan, was Nachshon, the son of Aminadab, of the tribe of Judah. His offering, and actually it says here, and his offering. And the Medrash has a lot to say about this. Why does it say, and his offering? If in the second one it would have said, and his offering was, that would have made more sense. If it would have said it in the last one, it would also have made sense. But here we have another example that they are all carried at once, as it were, because if we go just a little bit backwards, where they started this is Numbers 7:3. It says there, everyone brought their offerings together at the same time. What they really wanted to do was they wanted Moses to accept all the offerings at once. They didn't want it to be each one on a separate day. But then, in Numbers 7:4, God says to Moses, take the oxen and the wagons, take the offerings, meaning take the oxen and the wagons, which were part of the offering, and let them be used in the service of the tent of meeting and the tabernacle. You must give them to the Levites in accordance with each man's work. So Moses took the wagons and cattle and gave them to the Levites. That he did right away. So they brought all together, the 12 kings, they brought together 6 wagons and 12 oxen. So he gave 4 wagons and 8 oxen to the clan of Merari, and he gave 2 wagons and 4 oxen to the clan of Gershon. After that, the princes brought the dedication of the altar, and the day it was anointed, and again God said to him, they should bring it day by day, not all at once. So he took the main part of the offering, which was the oxen and the wagons for carrying the tabernacle, but he didn't take the offerings themselves. And so the offerings now they had to bring one after another, day after day. So let's see again. So turning back to the first day. So Nachshon, he's the king or the prince of the tribe of Judah. He brings like this, like everyone else. His offering was 1 silver bowl weighing 130 shekels, 1 silver sprinkling basin weighing 70 shekels, according to the value of the sacred shekel, both filled with fine flour mixed with olive oil for a voluntary grain offering, 1 gold spoon weighing 10 shekels filled with incense, a young bull, a choice ram, and the choice lamb in its first year, all for an ascent offering. 1 young he-goat for a sin offering, and for the peace offering 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, and 5 lambs in their first year. This was the offering of Nachshon, the son of Aminadab. So he's from the tribe of Judah. What is in his mind when he brings this? So each one of these things will now be interpreted according to how the tribe of Judah sees everything. So from the point of view of the tribe of Judah, everything is kingdom. Everything is kingship. Because they're destined to be the kings. So, how does this work? The silver bowl alluded to Adam. How does the silver bowl allude to Adam? Because in Hebrew, ka'arat kesef is equal to 930. So 930 is the number of years that Adam lived. So what is he saying? The king is like taking the place, continuing the role of Adam. That's his first thought. Its weight was, we said, 130 shekels. So what does that have to do with anything? So he says 130 shekels. This alludes already to the I missed one point. The silver bowl is 930. It alludes to Adam, but it also alludes, the Medrash says, to the world. How does the silver bowl allude to the world? Because the bowl itself is meant to symbolize the oceans of the world. And the Medrash says, how do you get to 100? What's it connected? Why is it connected to 130? Why is this bowl 130 shekels its weight? He says, when God created the oceans, they're called yamim. Yamim in Gematria is equal to 100. And then Shlomo, King Solomon, he added his own little ocean in the temple. And its circumference was 30 cubits. So he says it's 100 for the oceans and 30 for this basin that is Yam, it's called the Yam Shlomo, the ocean of Solomon that he created, that he built in the temple. So that becomes 130. So this is very, very mystical. It's not clear. It's not a clear allusion that you would right away think of. But then he says something more. He says the bowl is one thing, but then there's this sprinkling basin. But when you sprinkle, you're like tossing something from side to side. So he says, the Medrash says, what did this mean? That the sprinkling basin was like half a circle, half a sphere, and the thought was, and this is very important because a lot of people have a mistake about this, that this represented the world, the entire world, meaning that all the kings, including Adam, and so now we're going back to Adam, and all the kings of Judah, they're considered to be rulers over the entire world. That's how they're described. And the world is depicted by a sphere. Now, this is not just something that it's not some fringe idea. This is actually halacha. If you find an idol that is holding a sphere in its hand, then it is an idol that you have to destroy. Because the sphere, holding the sphere in the hand, is a symbol of ruling over the world. Because the world, as we know from the time of the Greeks, from about the 3rd century BCE, was known to be spherical. Nobody thought in the 3rd century BC already that the world was flat. It's a very common misconception. I don't know, there's a lot been written about it, why this even came about. But anyway, so the sprinkling basin, which you throw from place to place, that's like the sphere. Then he says, there's one golden spoon. The golden spoon, why a golden spoon? Because a spoon represents that all the kings of Judah had the same intent. They all wanted to rule in the same way. They all wanted to serve God in the same way, ostensibly, hopefully. And then 10 generations from Peretz, the son of Judah, to David. The gold spoon was 10 shekels of weight. And then you have the oxen, the ram, and the sheep. These three represent Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Should be pretty clear. Abraham is the ox, because when the angels came to him, he said to Ishmael, bring an ox, 3 oxen from the herd, and he made them the tongues in what do you call it, in chardal, in mustard. Then the ram is obviously Isaac's ram, and the sheep represent what Jacob did with the sheep of Lavan, that he created his own flocks. Then there's this is very typical to the kingdom. He says that the Seirizim, which is what is called here the he-goat, for a sin offering, the he-goat is what they used to take Joseph's coat and dip it in blood and show it to Jacob, so that he would think that he was eaten by a wild animal. So Yudah here is saying, as a sin offering, or rather Nachshon, his representative, his king, is saying we're using the sin offering to atone for what we did, for what Judah did when he fooled Jacob. Then you have, it comes out to 15 different animals. It's 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs in their first year, altogether 15. This is the number of kings from Solomon's son, Rechavam was his name, until the last king of Judah, whose name was Tzidkiyahu. These were the 15 kings in the lineage of Judah. So this is an example, a first example of, I'm sorry we didn't have enough time today to go more deeply into it, but it's a first example of how you can bring the same thing and have a completely different meaning than anyone else. Nobody else would have thought of these connections because nobody else was thinking about kingdom. We'll look at a couple more tomorrow just to get a feel for how each one was completely different, a completely different understanding of what they are doing. And this is such an important staple, like we explained last week, that every person has to find his own understanding in every mitzvah. It's so essential that this is the light within the vessel. And the vessel is always the same. We all perform the same mitzvot, but the light has to be individualized, and every person has a responsibility to think of something that has to do, gives them meaning about the mitzvah, the particular mitzvah that they are doing. So I hope to see everyone tomorrow, and we'll go a little bit deeper into one of the other examples.
Rabbi, that's a very important concept. We should definitely revisit it tomorrow, that everyone should find their own.
Right, we spoke about it on, I think you weren't there, but we spoke about, maybe you were. We spoke about it on Thursday. Okay.
Rabbi.
Yes.
Tomorrow here in America is a holiday.
That's great. What holiday?
Memorial Day.
Okay, so 6:15, so 8:15 again.
Yes, 8.
Okay.
No. 8:15?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then.
Please come tomorrow, Mr. Sean, please.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
He'll come.
Tomorrow is 6:30, right, Rabbi? Yeah.